Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So surprise, I'm doing a bonus video this week. I don't know why, because there's so many things going on, but I couldn't help sharing my mystery knit-alongs that I'm working on. And instead of kind of tagging them onto videos and warning people, I just figured I'd do an entire video just on these. Nacho is very excited to get in on this video as well. Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Nacho's a little thrown off by how different this is all set up. Again, we just had our walls painted, so you can kind of see we have some color on there, but all the furniture is still squished in the middle of the room as I haven't moved it back yet, and so we're just kind of going with the flow here. Now that we have learned that just because all the furniture is together, we can't necessarily climb on the furniture, we are ready to go. So again, I'm going to be showing you guys progress on my Stephen West Mystery Knit-Along, the Slipstravaganza shawl, as well as the Tamy Gore Mystery Knit-Along, the Golden Dusk MKAL. I will say I am behind. I just finished up Clue 2 on both of them. The Tamy Gore shawl is well done. I still haven't spoiled it for myself. I have no idea what's coming next. And for the Stephen West one, today is Monday for me. But I did on Friday, he released Clue 4, which is the last clue. And so I'm just starting Clue 3. So I'm officially like a week and a half behind, but that's gonna keep expanding because it is what it is. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to show you guys the Stephen West one first because it's sitting on my lap. This is a large shawl, so I'll do my best to show you as much as I can. But here it is. So you can kind of see the honeycomb section, and I'll talk about the colors in a second. This was clue number 1. And then clue number 1 bonus, 1B, is this next section, which he called the columns. And then clue 2 were the diamonds. So you can kind of see the diamonds in there. And so the colorways that I'm using, so again, I just finished clue 2. I have not yet started clue 3, and I haven't spoiled anything, so I don't know what's coming next. But the colors that I am using are my main color, which of course the other skein is not wound up nicely anymore, which I will do. Okay, so my main color 1 is my color Speckled Orchid. You can see I'm almost done with it. I'm curious if anyone else is, so if you guys are knitting this, let me know if you finished up your first skein yet of your main color. I am a loose knitter, so it's entirely possible I'm using up too much yarn, so I'm curious to know if that's the case, but I don't want to look anything up because I am so far behind. So let me know if you guys are running out of your first color or if you did around the end of clue 2. But anyway, this is Speckled Orchid, which is, I will say, all the yarn that I'm using in both of these shawls is my hand-dyed yarn, A Girl and Her Wool. And so this is Speckled Orchid, which is a speckly, variegated, hot pink, dark green, and gray color. I will say, if you haven't yet, go check out my Stephen West MKAL dye with me. I dyed up all these colors and you can see how I did it. And if you go back even, I think in that video I linked to a planning projects video. That's where I planned out the colors that I wanted to use for both of these shawls. So if you want to see more behind the scenes of my thought process, dye process, go check out both of those videos. And I'm going to get Nacho off my lap. My contrast color number 1, which is the hot pink, is my color Hibiscus Tea, which is a tonal pink, but I use a few different colors in there. So again, check out the dye with me to hear more about how I did that. My contrast color number 2 is this dark green. So this was Hibiscus Tea, if I didn't mention it. This one is Dragonfly. And then my third contrast color is called London Fog, which is a gray-black tonal color that just has a hint of the pink in it, just to bring it all together. So those are the 3 colors, and what I did pretty much was take Speckled Orchid and basically deconstructed it into these 3 colorways. So I knew the problem with going into a mystery knit-along is you really don't know what, you know, maybe if you saw the pattern you pick your colors differently, but I knew these would all kind of go well together. And again, watch that planning projects video for kind of how I figured out what I wanted to do. And so you see all the colors kind of play in there together. So at first we used the main color along with colors 1 and 3, which I think he introduced it by saying pick 1 and 3 as colors that would pair well together. So again, because that gray has the pink highlight, I thought those would work well together. Plus I liked the contrast. So I did that. And then that kind of picked it out from there. So then the green got introduced as well. So far I am really enjoying knitting this. It's so different. I think if I saw it, I would say I didn't think I'd want to make it. I think the holes kind of threw me off at first, but honestly, now that like you have more to the shawl, it actually looks really cool. And so I probably would, but I know this is gonna come out really big. But I am having a lot of fun doing it. It's called the Slipstravaganza, and there are slip stitches everywhere. I think I looked, Clue 3 has 2 sections, section 4 and section 5. And I only looked at the instructions for section 4, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was, so that doesn't matter. I think you use the green, like the contrast color 2 more, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. But anyway, it's going really quickly considering I'm now at the point where there's 450 something stitches on the needles. He introduced the pattern by saying don't freak out if you have the wrong number stitches, and I think at one point I did not have the right number stitches, but I just made it work at the end. So maybe I added a couple of extra make ones on the sides or decreased, I forget what I did, but I made it work, and no one will ever notice. So that's that. Again, I've talked about this in my knitting project recap. Sorry, I had stitches that fell off. But I was going through a bit of a knitting rut for a while where I just wasn't super into it. I wasn't doing as much, and I wasn't finding myself like planning future projects as much as I used to. And I think that by knitting on something that's a little bit out of my comfort zone, both in the colors that I picked as well as the design, it's really kind of helping that clear up. And that's because you know, I think we all knit the same colors because that's what our style is. We knit the same designs because that's what our style is. And so by kind of throwing some new colors out there, like for me, just the hot pink, and picking like the green, just having more colors, and in a design that's completely different, it means that the actual knitting that I'm doing is kind of different than what I'm used to. And so it's kind of freed me up from that rut. So my recommendation is, if you are in a crafty rut, like you can stick to the same craft, but just try to change it up, like change the colors or change the design, and that way you're not doing the same thing over and over again. So again, that is that. Clue number 2 done. And I do have kits for this available in my shop. I did this weekend restock all these colors, so you should see them in the shop now on on sock, DK, BFL sock, and worsted. So all of those colors are stocked up in the shop. The Stephen West one is pretty crazy for me, at least. This is more my style, more my thing, and I love what she's doing with it. So you can see it just it's basically like a stitch sampler. And so if you're newer to shawls, if you're new to like brioche or lace or something like that, or all of them, give this shawl a try, because again, the DK weight helps it go quickly. At this point I have 100 stitches on the needles, which 100 does sound like a lot, but it's nothing compared to the 460 or however many I have over there. And you really do get to do a lot. So you start with your garter, like I said, there's a little brioche. So if you haven't done brioche yet, it's really straightforward brioche. You can see that it's really just regular brioche. However, because it is on a bias, you do decrease on one side and increase on the other. But again, you're not doing it very many times, so it's a good way to learn it. And there's also some really basic lace work, which you can see in there. You get a little more brioche practice. some fun textured stitches, and then back to striping. So it's definitely not advanced by any means. It's very doable, but you can get really fun stitch sampler out of it. And again, I will live in this. It is so soft and squishy and warm, and I'm having a lot of fun working on this. So again, I just finished Clue 2. I don't think I've even downloaded Clue 3 for this one yet, but I'm excited to bring in color number 4, the Smoked Paprika, and see where it goes. So yeah, definitely doable if you wanted to do a clue in a week. I just haven't yet, and I'm enjoying this. So those are my mystery knit-alongs. I'm going to be starting on Clue 3, so I'm probably going to do another vlog like this at the end of Clue 3. If you want to see kind of where I was at the end of Clue 1, I had a knitting project recap video where I think I was like partially into Clue 2, but I think I talked more about like the beginnings of them. So you can check that out, and then I'll do another one of these vlogs at the end of Clue 3. So that is it for my Stephen West and Tamy Gore Mystery Knit Along recap. Definitely comment below if you guys are working on these, or if you've worked on mystery knit alongs in the past. I'm curious how it went. These are two very different ones, one being the sock weight that's humongous, one being a smaller DK weight one. One is like all the slip stitches, all the colors, and one is kind of more stitch sampler. So very different, but very fun. Good combination of mystery knit alongs that I've done, that I'm doing at the same time. And again, it's getting me out of that knitting rut that I was going through. So anyway, make sure you subscribe so you see where I go up to next, and you'll see all my other videos as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.